The owner of the Saints and the Hornets also wants to own the Times-Picayune, but is it a buyer's market? After getting rained out, the Saints are back at practice today. Another chance for fans to see their players in action. It's showtime. Millions of people around the world will be glued to their TV sets today as the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games unfolds. All right, we'll get to those stories for you in just a moment. It is 6 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. We have breaking news. We are talking about a massive fire at the Hubigs Pie Factory in the Marigny. It has now been increased to 5 alarms. We've just confirmed that with NOFD, a 5-alarm fire at the Hubigs Pie Factory there on Dauphine Street in the Marigny. Of course, a historic building. WGNO News anchor John Huffman is live on the scene with dozens of firefighters and dozens of fire trucks. John, what's going on? All right, John, thanks so much. We do appreciate that. Look at that. The firefighters trying to get this massive blaze under control at the Hubigs Pie Factory. Of course, we know that such a historic area, of course, the Marigny is, and that building has a lot of history. According to Hubigs Pie's website, they've been there since 1922. Wow. We will check back in with John for more on this developing story here in a few minutes. Moving on, though, amid security fears, political blunders, and last-minute preparations, athletes from across the globe are ready to compete in the anticipated London Olympics. Tonight marks the official beginning of the 30th Olympiad. Tamon Bradley brings us the very latest. Well, in a stark reminder of what can go wrong at an Olympic event, today is the 16th anniversary of the Atlanta Olympic Park bombing during the 1996 Summer Games. 2 people died and 111 people were injured. Eric Rupert Murdoch pleaded guilty to that and 4 other bombings over a span of 2 years. Today, the Saints will unveil their rebirth statue on the Southwest Plaza of the Superdome. It's supposed to capture the moment from September 2006 when the Saints and the city returned from a year lost to Katrina. The noon event is private today. Players, team execs, and Mayor Mitchell Andrew will all be on hand when the sheet is pulled back from the sculpture. Meanwhile, the Saints entered their second day of training camp practices today. Yesterday, look at this, plenty of fans showed up for the team's first practice, but the rain forced the action indoors, so many fans left wet and disappointed without getting a chance to see their Saints play. Today, though, they will have another chance to catch practice. It starts again at 4. No decision yet from Saints suspended linebacker Jonathan Vilma's federal court hearing yesterday. Vilma is hoping to get an injunction so he can attend training camp while his lawsuit against NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell plays out. Vilma testified in federal court yesterday, along with interim head coach Joe Vitt and 4 other teammates. They all say no money was paid for hits meant to injure opponents. The NFL's lawyers say no court has jurisdiction to overturn the suspension. Well, the mailbox of the Times-Picayune's owner is getting a lot of letters from New Orleans lately. Saints owner Tom Benson sent the chairman of Advanced Publications, Stephen Newhouse, a letter saying he wants to buy the Times-Picayune. Benson wants the paper to remain a daily. Senator David Vitter also sent a letter to Newhouse telling him the paper is doomed unless it remains a daily.
Look, your new model is going to be a failure. No one thinks it's going to serve our region well. Please sell the paper.
Newhouse, though, says the paper is not for sale. All right, we'd like to go back to that breaking news this morning. We are talking about a massive fire at the Hubigs Pie Factory in the Marigny. It's now been increased to 5 alarms. WGNO News anchor John Huffman is live for us on the scene with a firefighter to talk to get more information about what's happening here. John, this is hard to see. John, really quickly, I want to ask you, I can imagine what people are saying, but what are folks who live around the factory saying this morning? Because this is a very historic building. Now, John, you live in that neighborhood. How is it for you to watch a building of such significance burn?
Absolutely heartbreaking.
All right, John, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was just reading on their website. They've been in that location since 1922. We will have continuing coverage on this fire throughout the morning, so stay with Good Morning New Orleans. 6:18 this morning. It is not every day you can smile back and, yes, I'm going to say it, give your friends the finger. You see it there. We're not talking about that kind. We're not being mean this morning. It is National Chicken Finger Day. Today, Raising Cane's will give away one free chicken finger to each of its club members. If you're not a member, you can print off an online certificate from Raising Cane's Facebook page. The certificate, though, only valid today, so go get your free chicken finger. Well, if you can't give your friend the finger, how about a kiss? Gay rights groups are asking gay and lesbian couples to go to their local Chick-fil-A restaurant next Friday for a kiss-in campaign. This kiss-in is one of several public protests against Chick-fil-A since the company's president said he opposes same-sex marriage. Former presidential candidate Rick Santorum and fellow Republican Mike Huckabee, who support the chain, are calling for a Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day next week. Big controversy there. All right, time to talk weather. I want to talk a little bit about the heat because the fire chief mentioned it. They're battling a massive fire at the Hubigs Pie Factory on Dauphine Street in the Marigny, a 5-alarm fire this morning. 95 firefighters are on the scene, and he said they're already rotating them in and out because the heat of the fire, along with the heat outside already this morning.
Yeah, you know, we're staying warm. We haven't cooled off a lot in the overnight hours, so we're talking temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s, but feeling a lot hotter than that once you factor in the humidity. And of course, we'll be warming up really quickly. Unfortunately, we're just not seeing a whole lot of rain out there. We're in that typical summer type pattern where we see the showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Of course, it'd be nice to see some shower activity out there this morning, but most of it is coastal, so that's what we can expect. And yeah, the heat's going to be on for us today. We're talking triple-digit heat index values, and you know, a lot of the time yesterday we felt those before even 11 a.m.
Right, which is, it's just getting hot so quickly. And we were mentioning the firefighters don't have this under control. They're going to be out there a long time this morning.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to get it under control fairly quickly before we start to warm up too quickly. Of course, your weather.
All right, Molly, thanks so much. In this morning's business report, Asian markets rallied after the euro held on to some strong gains. The Nikkei is up 123 points. The Hang Seng shot up 382 points. Here's a look at stock futures on Wall Street. The Dow is expected to rise 28 points. NASDAQ to gain by about 5. Let's go back now to that breaking news, the massive fire at the Hubigs Pie Factory in the Marigny. It is a 5-alarm fire. Moments ago, the chief said it is not under control. Good morning, New Orleans anchor John Huffman is live on the scene this morning with more. John. Well, some fantastic antiques and collectibles have passed through the doors of New Orleans auction galleries over the years, and now the auction house is back under new ownership, and they're set to launch their very first auction today. So joining us this morning, we have Susan Crone, CEO and owner. Thanks so much for coming in, Susan. We appreciate it. We also have President Ashton Thomas. Thanks so much for coming in. And they've brought just absolutely amazing items, and these are just some of the items that are going to go up for auction today, right?
Yeah, we brought this painting by George Dunbar, who's a Louisiana artist from the 1900s. We kind of wanted to illustrate this. This is estimated to go for about $1,000, but one of his larger paintings actually sold in March for a record $49,000 at our auction gallery.
So this is a steal, is what you're telling me.
If you could get it for $1,000, sure it is. But,
okay. You know, and these are such unique pieces. We'll go through some of these here in a moment, but first off, how can people go to this? It's today, right? The first auction under the new ownership.
It's today. We're at Magazine and Julia, and we are open to the public. I recommend that you get there a little in advance if you plan on bidding, because you do have to go through a registration process. But it's kind of a New Orleans version of what you see on TV. You know, we don't do the cattle auction style calling or anything like that. It's a little more laid back with a little more soul, but it is open to the public.
New Orleans style, that's what we'll call it, and everything here is New Orleans style. Such Louisiana history on this table, I'm telling you. Let's talk about some of these other items. The Loving Cup.
We have a Loving Cup from 1926 given to a local entrepreneur. And with the state of the Times-Picayune right now, this is going to be quite the collector's piece. We're very excited about it.
Very true. What would something like the Loving Cup go for, you think?
That, it just depends on who wants it. You know, you go in and you think, well, we have starting bids, and then it just depends. So we have no idea, really.
I want to talk about this bowl, because I believe you guys have 3 hard-to-come-by Rodrigue pieces,
we are
right?
so excited. This bowl is just very unique. It's one in a a very limited set. So it's highly sought after, and it's intact. And here we have. So,
It is gorgeous. I mean, the intricate detail of this bowl, and of course, it's a beautiful Rodrigue piece. And you had a couple others as well, though,
yeah,
too, right?
we have a couple of paintings, and this is one of his early endeavors.
Look at that. I love it. Okay, and what about these?
Well, we thought we'd bring some things that kind of related to New Orleans again. And these are oyster plates from about 200 years ago. You can imagine people 200 years ago eating oysters off these plates, and they're actually very inexpensive. You know, it would be a great collector's piece for someone that did that. And they're actually a set of 4. We do have a Limoges set also, a set of about 16, I believe.
Wonderful. Well, you guys have just absolutely great pieces. Very hard to come by, and you can get your hands on them by going to this auction. We're just showing some of the things here. There's the loving cup again. So one more time for me if people want to check this out.
510 Julia. Today's auction starts at noon. We are open all weekend, Saturday at 10 o'clock, Sunday at 11.
All right, fabulous pieces. Thank you guys so
Oh,
much for coming
thank
in. We
you,
appreciate
thank you.
it. So neat. All right, we'll be back here in a moment.
Thanks very much.
6:35 now, and we are covering breaking news on this Friday morning. A massive fire at the Hubigs Pie Factory in the Marigny. It was increased to 5 alarms earlier this morning. Started out as a 4-alarm fire, now 5 alarms. Good morning, New Orleans anchor John Huffman is live on the scene. John, you say they're starting to get a handle on this fire, finally. John, let me ask you something really quick, if we can get John back for us. I don't know if we can. I'm wondering if the owners are there. There are so many people out watching this fire. John, have you seen the owners of the building? I know
Have
that
not.
There are a lot of city folks from the city out there now, too.
Absolutely. We have not seen the owner. Now, that's not to say they are not here.
Wow, John, thanks so much. Appreciate that. We'll check back in with John here in a little bit. Well, years of Olympic-sized preparation, construction, and planning all come down to today's opening ceremony in London. The 2012 Olympic Summer Games will officially get underway tonight. Can't wait. Andrew Spencer has a preview. A handful of athletes from Louisiana will be carrying our pride and joy to the Olympics, and it's girl power all the way, as most of our athletes are women. New Orleans native Chelsea Hayes is competing in the women's long jump. She was forced to leave after Katrina, but she returned after high school, and she's a student at Louisiana Tech. Chelsea is ranked 3rd in the world for long jump. Lolo Jones is competing in track and field. She's an Ohio native who graduated from LSU, now lives in Baton Rouge. She placed 7th in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. Savannah Vincent is competing in gymnastics. She won all 3 qualifying trampoline trials this year. The 19-year-old is from Lafayette. Baton Rouge native Simone Augustus and LSU graduate Sylvia Fowles are on the USA women's basketball team. The team won the gold medal at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. And yes, fear the brow. Hornets #1 draft pick Anthony Davis is playing for Team USA. At first, he was just on reserve because of an injury, but he actually took Blake Griffin's place. Continuing with our breaking news coverage of the massive fire at the Hubigs Pie Factory in the Marigny, let's go live now to John Huffman. He is on the scene for us this morning. John, do they have this 5-alarm fire under control yet? Been at that location, John, since 1922. Wow. We'll be back here in just a moment. Continuing with our breaking news coverage of the 5-alarm fire at the Hubigs Pie Factory in the Marigny. The building has been there as a Hubigs Pie Factory since 1922. However, it is no more. Let's go live to WGNO News anchor John Huffman. He's on the scene for us. John. All right, John, thanks so much. A very emotional time. You did see a couple of folks there wearing Hubigs Pie t-shirts, hugging and crying there during John's live shot. We'll have much more on this tragic fire, really, on WGNO News at 11 o'clock this morning. Everybody logging onto Facebook, talking about their favorite flavor of pie. Molly?
Coconut.
Coconut.
Hands down.